Hello and welcome to the second episode of The Future of Prison Architect. My name is ChaosMole and today we're watching the What's Up with Rooms and Objects in Prison Architect 2. As you might remember, last week we had a video about the future is 3D, how basically Prison Architect moved from 2D to 3D, and I'm really curious what else is changing because, well, as you might have noticed if you have been following the whole announcement of Prison Architect 2, a lot of people have doubts about the second game and what it really brings new to the table. And with that said, I would say we are watching this video, which is presented by Charlie Pryor, who is also a content creator here on YouTube. Make sure to check him out, he's amazing. And with that said, let's watch this video.
We're taking a look at rooms and objects
and let me give you some thoughts on this as well.
And expand upon them to make your prison thrive in Prison Architect 2. Let's get
I mean, it's one of the most important aspects of Prison Architect, let's be honest.
Those are very familiar to those of you who have played Prison Architect in the past.
Yes.
Opening up the construction menu at the bottom of the screen and visiting the Assign Rooms tab will lead you
Looks
to the section
like the first one, just a little bit cleaner.
Now,
I like the new interface.
Are somewhat limited unless you're playing with all of them unlocked anyways. But new rooms will become available as you unlock them from the bureaucracy tab in the administration menu.
I just realized how big the tech tree will be and how much there is to research. I know that some people are like, researching, waiting for the things to unlock. As I mentioned, and I think like most Paradox games, you can just skip that and unlock everything at once. But I always like the pacing of unlocking things through a tree.
At the start, you'll have intake, deliveries, and garbage zones already placed
like in the first one.
And
okay.
You'll be able to designate prisoner holding areas like holding cells.
I love the new cells. They're looking great.
Place a kitchen, canteen, offices for your admin staff.
Oh boy, where the bad things happen.
It's also a good idea to
what
place
the
an
hell?
export zone near the road so that your workmen have a place to put the stuff that they're tearing down and everything on the map, and so they can sell it as they go. These
okay.
are only the beginning, though, as you'll
this looks great.
With most minor milestones as you grow, allowing you to
so bit City Skylines 2 in here.
So your people can have a place to rest and get their energy back.
Doesn't have to be a bad thing.
Rooms to make sure that your prisoners have clean clothes. Classrooms to help
and where they definitely don't hide any weapons.
Rooms to allow prisoners to see their family and much more. You'll also be unlocking loads of new items to add for these rooms for various benefits and effects.
Prison Racer.
also have a template that you can use for quick build in the construction.
Oh my god, I love that.
You choose, you can have them.
This is great. Like I remember back in the day when I started out with Prison Architect, I know for all the veterans who have hundreds if not thousands of hours into this, you will look at this and go, ooh, why would I use this? But I can tell you when I first started out with Prison Architect, and I was not really used to those type of games. I also never played RimWorld before that. I actually started to play RimWorld after Prison Architect many years ago, and I was lost. Yes, they had a tutorial where they kind of explained to you what you have to do, but a lot of times I was looking at like the prisons of people who have already played this game for a long while, and I always felt like, man, they're so much better than me. I can't even envision this. I'm very bad with just envisioning what I want to do. I'm really bad at that. So this is great. Oh, I love that. This helps new players and people who are, again, really bad in envisioning shit, like me.
Some rooms do have a size requirement.
This is why I'm failing at games like Minecraft.
Infrastructure research in the bureaucracy tab. If you wish to remove a room from an area, drag with right-click instead.
Okay, so far so old school.
Specific equipment to be added in order to be effective. And if you are missing anything in a room, you can see what's missing listed in a hovering list at the border of the room.
That's kind of cool to have that built into the room.
Will function. Alternatively to dragging, you can also middle-click to change this mode to a full area fill, which if the room that you're trying to designate is fully enclosed, but not necessarily like a clear rectangle or square in shape, since a single click can fill the entire space.
Cool.
Just be careful with this mode in your cell block areas or places that aren't secure.
I'm pretty sure nothing bad will happen, ever.
I mentioned how doors can have keys requirements.
Well, yes, I remember that.
Areas are considered secure or not, and you'll definitely want to make sure that any rooms that prisoners will have access to.
Pause here for a second. I love how they are giving you an overview about things which are secure and which are unsecure. I love that. And also give you the key overview. Like, I think this is very important. I mean, Prison Architect 1 had a pretty good overlay for a lot of areas already, but especially in the 3D area, you need so much more of that, right? Like, you have to absolutely make sure that I understand every nook and cranny of my prison, because, well, prisoners can use every nook and cranny, try to escape, and I don't want that to happen, right? So,
are secure by using the info views button on the right side of the screen.
oh my
Clicking the
god, look at
tab-like
all those
icon on the left.
overlays! I
If the
love
rooms are
overlays.
green, they are secure behind a key requirement.
I think a good strategy or building game
Well, a prisoner that's inside there can
like
be much more
Rises and
dangerous.
Fall
So be aware of that at all times.
with
For prisoners to interact
with overlays.
You can see the settings on the doors with this view by clicking on the door, and the option to require a key is right here.
Oh,
So that takes care of the basics
good.
of rooms and how to designate them and make sure that they are secure. But what goes inside the different rooms? Let's talk about the plethora
People?
of objects available in Prison Architect 2. Objects in Prison Architect either serve an
cozy.
aesthetic purpose or a functional purpose as they pertain to how they affect the prison, and many times both. Let's start with the
Oh boy.
The basics of a cell are a bed and a toilet. But as
Okay.
you play, you'll find new bed types and even new toilet
Luxury
types.
bed.
They are not made the same
Ooh.
either, as many of these items influence your prisoner's needs. Speaking of providing nice things, how about we provide our staff with some nice things too?
Nah.
This room can be unlocked in the
Nah.
section for
Never
research,
like
providing
that.
a place for your staff to rest and recharge.
Taking
is a
care of the
fine
prisoners
idea
is
for a
fine,
growing
but
prison.
staff?
Place a couple of couches
Nah.
and a vending machine, and you're pretty much good to go. But in addition to rest, you
I
can
really
use
like the
better
aesthetic.
tools to be
I
successful,
really
like the
do.
security cameras and a surveillance room with monitoring stations.
Yes,
Be
give me
around
all the
prison and communicate
civilians.
problems as they arise. The metal detector is also a great tool to use between contraband risk areas,
Ooh.
such as the canteen, or right before entering the yard or cell blocks, to catch dangerous contraband before it can be used on, well, wherever they're planning to use it.
I'm really curious about how fast your personnel will actually act on the things. I think that was always sometimes a bit of a problem in Prison Architect. And keep in mind that Prison Architect was a 2D game, so all the characters were moving on a 2D plane. Now it's 3D, and I'm really curious to see like how fast they are reacting to certain situations. And it makes things definitely harder now that you have different levels and all that. So this is one of my biggest concerns. Like, how well does the AI react to things happening in your prison, and more importantly, how often do they get stuck?
Some prisoners aren't all that bad, though. They just want to work out and stay healthy. So providing them with exercise bars and gym mats will help them exercise
Nice.
and keep them happy. There are
Do you even
a load of
lift,
things
bro?
that you can add to common rooms and yards that prisoners will interact with to make them happier.
Basketball. I love
You can
basketball.
see what every object does by hovering over it in the object's menu. The description of the cooker in the kitchen, for example, will display how many servings can be provided by it when worked by a cook,
Oh,
and how
that's
much power
neat.
it pulls. It also
Neat.
hints as to when it will be used. Hover over the chair, and it says that it satisfies the comfort need.
Slightly
For specific types
satisfies.
of items, there are category tabs here in the object menu, as well as sorting options and a search bar. There are so many objects in the game that will tackle a variety of needs, especially as you unlock more in bureaucracy. And I cannot possibly cover all of the needs that prisoners have in this video, as it would make it way too long. Which is why
I mean, this
I'll
is
leave you
already
some in the
long, and
next
I'm
video instead.
sorry
So
for
make sure you get
everyone.
yourself subscribed to the Paradox Interactive channel
And
here on YouTube
thank you for
so
everyone
you
who has
don't miss
been
any of the
watching.
future tutorials being discussed
I mean,
here in the future.
oh, look at that. Look at that. I love to see that. I know they will probably go into the next video, which, by the way, I'm trying to provide much, much earlier than the last two. I have been a little bit sloppy there, and I'm sorry for that. But again, this one looks great. I know people will say, Mo, we had similar things in Prison Architect 1, man. Yes, but look, just because something was in the first one and worked perfectly well in the first one doesn't mean it has to be in the second one. So just getting a confirmation on those things is great to see. Looking at you, City Skylines too. Like, just do it, right? Like, give me that info and make sure that I am aware that those things will be there, right? So yeah, this sounds great. Like, I like what they are doing with the rooms. It seems to be very much like in the first one. A few details are now different here and there, and it seems like you can add much more smaller things. I mean, this is the positive effect of having a 3D environment, right? You can just put more into a room because you have technically more space, right, than you had in a 2D environment. So I'm very much okay with that, and I'm looking forward to the next video. With that said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and my commentary. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. The Mole Under Management channel is completely focusing on strategy games, building and management games, basically everything where strategy is in it. And we have more than just prison architect here on the channel, so make sure to check out the videos as well. With that said, have a good one, stay safe,